always protecting you. But not no more. Tonight I'm gonna do what I should have done.
We believe there's an opportunity for a successful joint venture.
Jaw-dropping, wild, grim, dark. The finale is about to really fuck with us. Those are just a few of the words from the casting crew in and around those who were worked with Raising Kanan Season 4. A season which has pretty much been a chess game. Everyone's definitely been playing. But as it's been revealed over the last couple of episodes, for two characters that were said to be retired, Snaps and Pop have become the biggest players. And their impact in the grand scheme of things in the world of power could even become bigger. If we are about to see one character who everybody's been waiting for, could Snaps and Pop introduce him? That's only if he is going to be introduced. But this episode has a lot of moving chess pieces, plots, storylines that they do need to not necessarily wrap up. I do think a few storylines will be wrapped up, but I'm sure many will probably rumble on into Season 5. And no doubt, they'll also leave us with a few more questions and mysteries. But there are a lot of storylines to look forward to going into episode 10. There's going to be Kanan finding out about Crystal's death, his reaction, what will his next move be thereafter, Kanan's grave visit, Jukebox and Garcia, the favour that he's no doubt going to come back for, Marvin's mistakes, and of course, the all-important war between Unique and Rock, who comes out on top come the end of Season 4. A lot to unpack from these exclusive images, and the trailer seems to get us ready for what will no doubt be a great end to a great season. With that being said, let's start with the title and synopsis. Now the title of episode 7 is Gimme the Weight, and the synopsis reads: a devastated Kanan furiously searches for answers and revenge. Rock attempts to stave off the collapse of a business as she and Lou prepare for possible war with Unique. Now number 1, following on from a crazy moment in episode 409, Kanan definitely needs to find out about the death of Crystal first. We've got Kanan and Duke in conversation at Kanan's apartment, and no doubt, this will be where Duke tells him what she found out from Garcia. She went to Garcia towards the end of episode 409, where he confirmed they found her dead. So, we are going to see Kanan quite distraught, angry, hurt, thinking about revenge and a lot more. He cared a lot for Crystal. Even though he didn't quite listen to her advice as much, he definitely did care for her and also had a lot of trust in her. For Kanan to tell Crystal about his theory, open up to her about his mom and his struggles, that's a big thing for someone like Kanan who doesn't really have many people in his life that he can trust. So, this death definitely will hit him quite hard. We're also going to see him visiting someone's grave, which could potentially be Crystal's, it could be Fame, it could even be his grandma. I highly doubt that it's going to be Detective Howard, but having said that, all of those names that we've just mentioned, these are the deaths that have slowly started to chip away at Kanan. And who is he going to blame? Who does he always blame for everything? There's going to be only one person in his mind, which has also been twisted by Snaps and Pop, and that's Rock. So we are going to see this scene where it does seem like Kanan is in Rock's kitchen, and I'm fully expecting there to be a very feisty conversation between the two. You have to assume at some point Kanan will confront Rock, and he's also now going to think that she was behind Crystal's death. But the feisty conversation with Rock isn't the only one I'm expecting.
You ain't with me, you against me.
Now I have shown you guys this before, Kanan saying, if you ain't with me, you against me. And is this in conversation with Duke? I do think they are setting the foundation for them to have a bit of a conflict. In addition to Fame and Crystal's death, Kanan has been swayed by Snaps and Pop, and they're only going to be pulling him further away. And if they're going to be pulling him further away from the Thomases, eventually it will impact his relationship with Duke. Especially if Kanan believes that Rock was the one behind the murders, and Duke doesn't, it's definitely going to cause a bit of tension. So a lot of moving scenarios with this one with Snaps and Pop's manipulation. Kanan definitely has a lot of thinking to do, so what's his next move? Now one of them definitely will be to go and see Lou at Cafe Vu, and it does look like Lou is sticking it to Kanan, and rightly so. I do think he has been missing a father figure for a large portion of his life, and you can definitely tell he's not right in his mind. He's been played by Snaps and Pop. He's throwing the blame in Rock's direction, and he really does need to hear whatever Lou's telling him. However, why he is here? Maybe he is here to tell him about his theory about Rock, because at the end of the day, Lou wanted revenge as much as Kanan. Lou also knows Rock isn't afraid to call the hit on one of Kanan's friends. She's done it with D-Wiz before, and he'd know all about that. But with this one, with a turn in Lou's character, how he's backing Rock, what he knows of Rock, how much she loves Fame as well, there's no way he believes Kanan's theory. I wouldn't be surprised if it kinda planted a small seed of doubt because of the history, but all in all, I do hope he tells Kanan, fix up.
We believe there's an opportunity for a successful joint venture.
Now the last one with Kanan, we've also got this mysterious scene. It was the very last scene of the trailer for episode 10, which came after I thought the trailer had ended. It gave me the vibes of a after end credits scene, but who knows. The big question of course is, who comes out of this red car? We know in the trailer Snaps and Pop do tell Kanan that it would be best for all parties involved if he gets into business with Unique, but Unique does also have a white beamer. There's also no need to hide the fact that if Kanan was shaking hands with Unique, they can just show it because they've met before. Why keep this so mysterious and such a secret? I personally believe this could potentially be a new character, and there is one character we've still not seen, who I think we do know is coming in Season 5, Shamik Moore. He was spotted at the rap party for Season 5, and why not introduce him here? Why not introduce him in episode 10? Whether he turns out to be Breeze, if this is Breeze, as you guys know, I've already said I'm not going to get my hopes up, but I do think this is the most opportunistic time. To get everybody really hyped for Season 5, this is the perfect time to do it. I also believe the best people to introduce Breeze would also be Snaps and Pop, but let's wait and see. Sasha Penn definitely knows a lot more than I do, that's for sure, but he also knows what the Power fans want, although I do think we could potentially see Shamik Moore's character, one to definitely keep an eye on, in my personal opinion. In regards to the rest, with Breeze and everything else, let's just wait and see. Now moving on to Jukebox and Raq, we've also got them at the diner having a talk. We know their relationship is very different compared to the rest of the Thomases. They share a lot of secrets with one another, and I can think of a few topics that would be up for discussion here. There's Crystal's death, Fame's death, how Kanan believes that Raq was behind it, and who could be twisting Kanan's ear, aka Snaps and Pop. However, I do also think that Jukebox needs to tell Raq about Detective Garcia. Detective Garcia is going to come back and collect that favour from Juke, and last week I mentioned Juke has to have this conversation with Raq. She has to tell Raq that Garcia is hunting for answers, because they can make this work in their favour if they play their cards right. Use Garcia to take out one of their enemies, whether it's the Italians, Unique, Ellie Tyler, whoever. They can use this situation to their advantage, but we've got to keep our eyes open for Garcia coming back to collect. It is something I am expecting to see in episode 10, and that's something that I do think will have an impact with whatever happens in and around Juke, and whether law enforcement do pick up a win. There are a couple of murder cases law enforcement are keeping in mind, so let's see if law enforcement do pick up any kind of win, no matter how big or how small. Now the last one with Juke, we've also got her and Aisha with Nakia, their former manager when they were in this girls group back in season 3. Maybe they're here to give the news about Crystal, maybe they're here because there could potentially be a second chance with music. Could another door open for Juke and Aisha that they thought was closed? I also really do fear for Aisha. I did say it last week when episode 9's exclusive pictures were released, when we saw Aisha. We know civilians in the world of power always risk getting caught in the crossfire, so just want to keep in mind, it may or may not happen. Hopefully for Juke's sake it doesn't, but there are going to be a few deaths in episode 10, that's for sure. But let's move on to this war between Raq and Unique. Now we have got Raq in conversation with Marvin, where Raq doesn't look happy at all. We know Marvin's made a lot of mistakes in season 4, but the problem with Marvin is, whenever he makes mistakes, he does try to correct them himself, and most of the times he just goes and makes things worse. And they really do have a lot of issues to deal with. The transportation is pretty much dead with the death of Terry and also now David, at a time where they've got a lot of product incoming from Hafiz and the Afghans. They know they've got a problem with Stefano and the Italians, and if Snaps and Pop are telling Kanan to create an alliance with Unique and that's the way forward, then could we see them help broker a peace deal between Phil Russo and Stefano? That's another problem that could also be coming Raq's way. If they do go ahead and make that peace deal, then Stefano may have no need for the Thomases. We've also got Unique attacking Raq's Chinese restaurants and them being attacked in the streets. Marvin's also going to be coming under heavy gunfire, so a lot of shots are going to be fired at the Thomases in every single direction. That's why I really do think it's a timely return for Lou. Raq is going to need her original right hand man. We're no doubt going to see episode 10 kick off right from where episode 9 left off, which is at Unique's tailor shop, but from then on, I'm expecting things to pick up a lot of speed in terms of the plans from Raq's side and also Unique's side, and Lou will be heavily involved in a lot of decision making and a lot of the action that goes down in episode 10. Back in season 1, the older Kanan said he was the man to get shit done and get shit done right. Well, now's the perfect time to show it. With Unique, I did have him coming out on top come the end of season 4. Nothing I've seen over the past couple of episodes has actually changed my mind. I do think there's way too much going wrong for the Thomases at this moment in time. Way too many hurdles to overcome, and it just seems like he's best placed to take advantage, especially if Snaps and Pop are telling Kanan to team up with Unique. However, having said that, if Breeze genuinely is introduced, then it does change the game. I do think they can afford to at least off one big player. Whether we get any surprises or any big deaths, I do still see Marvin surviving. You know, I'm not changing my mind on Marvin. If any of the Thomases do die, then I do have Lou first. But again, I do think he's also someone who's going to make it to season 5. So genuinely, I'm not too sure. I do think Ellie Tyler will be one to bite the dust. He's definitely out of here. Marvin definitely will be killing Ellie Tyler. But in terms of the big players, I've said it before, I do think season 5 is going to be the season where there's going to be a real clearing of the chessboard. But let's wait and see. We know how Power love to surprise us. With that being said, that's a preview to get us ready for episode 10, and just to get our taste buds tingling for what hopefully will be the icing on the cake for a great season. So the floor is now yours. Drop all your predictions and thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know who's on your death predictions list. What happens with Marvin? Who wins this war between Unique and Rock? Will law enforcement get a win? Will we see Garcia slapping the handcuffs on any of these big players? Will we see Stefano's fairness being used? And finally, last but not least, will we see the one and only Breeze? Drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.